The King of Clients, Episode 6, The $1.3 billion Blind Spot. When power is divorced from morality, it becomes reckless. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have indicted the legal system, condemned the architects, and exposed the human cost. Today, we confront the deepest enabler of all, money. We confront the institutions that saw the human trafficking, tracked the victims, and chose to prioritize profit over morality. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. This is the King of Clients. This is the story of recklessness told in billions of dollars and countless compliance failures. From 1998 to 2013, the principal financier for the King of Clients was JPMorgan Chase, the largest financial institution in America. The bank listed Epstein as one of its most elite clients, part of a coveted group known as the Wall of Cash. His accounts were generating one of the largest annual revenue flows in the entire bank. So the bank saw his money and they ignored the crime. Epstein's methods of operation, which we detailed in the Inventory of Souls, required massive amounts of untraceable currency, routine cash payments made to victims and recruiters. Between 2003 and 2008, Epstein withdrew at least $3.5 million in cash. Compliance officers at the bank flagged these transactions, noting withdrawals of $40,000 to $80,000 multiple times a month. Textbook red flags for money laundering and organized crime. Federal anti-money laundering laws require banks to file a suspicious activity report, or SAR, to law enforcement whenever they detect suspicious transactions. This is the financial tripwire designed to stop operations like Epstein's. JPMorgan Chase's failure is documented in the numbers. While Epstein was alive and actively trafficking women and girls, JPMorgan Chase filed only 7 SARs, flagging $4.3 million. After Epstein was arrested in 2019, the bank filed retroactive SARs covering transactions 300 times larger, approximately $1.3 billion in suspicious transactions. They did not simply miss the crime. They severely underreported it for over a decade. They had the evidence in their servers, the dates, the locations, the names of victims and co-conspirators, and they chose to hide it. This was not a failure of low-level compliance. This was a failure of the executive suite. Unsealed documents reveal senior JPMorgan Chase executives, including those reporting directly to the CEO, overruled internal warnings repeatedly. The moral recklessness reached its lowest point with evidence that JPMorgan Chase private bankers went beyond ignoring the law when they allegedly counseled Epstein on how to obscure his suspicious cash withdrawals to avoid reporting requirements. They used their intellectual capital not to fight the crime of human trafficking, but to engineer the cover-up, prioritizing the fees of a single man over the duty to uphold the law and protect human beings. The system is microscopically rigid for the powerless and catastrophically porous for the powerful. The greatest financial institution in the world was willingly blind. Their silence was criminal. The failure of JPMorgan Chase was not an error. It was a choice. It was a calculation made by executives who believed their legal status protected them from moral judgment. And this is where the moral betrayal becomes a national outrage. You, the average citizen, face the crushing weight of the system every day. Try to move a few $100s or a few $1,000s to pay for a necessary expense, and your bank can freeze your account, demand detailed documentation, and file a report with the government. The same thing if you go to a casino and play a game and win a few $1,000s gambling. They have to report it to the government. The scrutiny is absolute. The law is rigid. And yet, this bank, JPMorgan Chase, was rolling out the red carpet for a convicted sex offender, allowing him to systematically withdraw millions in cash and conduct over $1 billion in suspicious transactions. These are transactions that facilitated the abuse of children. The system demands absolute transparency from the poor, but it granted absolute immunity to the king of clients. We will not allow them to hide behind their corporate policy. Their moral ledger is stained with the lives they enabled to be destroyed. They chose profit over law, and they deserve the same scrutiny they impose on the rest of us. Next time, we will examine the financial consequence of this corruption, the $290 million and the $75 million settlements, and ask whether justice for the elite can ever truly be achieved through a corporate check. We look at the financial conduit.